Hi, good morning. This is Cheryl, servant of the true and living God, and welcome to March into Zion Ministry. The testimony that I'm sending out to you this morning is a journey that the Lord sent me on last Sabbath, the 9th of December 2017. The Lord said to me, "Arise," the morning, and I woke up. He said to me, "Cheryl, I want you to give me 5 churches in Old Harbour today." He says, "I've sent you every single place except home, and I am bringing you home today." When I got up, I read it myself, and in the process of putting the CDs together, the Lord said to me, "Cheryl, I want you to say 5 Adventist Church in Old Harbour from your mouth, and of these that you mention, these are they that you will bring the CD, the 5 CDs to today." He said to me, "Of the 5 that you mentioned, you cannot change them, but of what you said, this is what you shall do." And I said, "Okay, Father." I said red ground, and I red ground 70 Adventist, and I tried to remember the other one. I was there snapping my finger and I said, "Lord, Lord," and He said to me, "Cheryl, leave it, for it will not come." Anyways, I said Old Harbour, SDA. Then I said Bushy Park, SDA. And I said Signum, SDA. And the Lord said to me, "Cheryl, Spanish Town, 70 Adventist." And of the 5 that I mentioned, these were they now that I had to deliver the 5 CD to on the Sabbath. And I remember when I was about to leave, my daughter wanted to go up to my mom, to collect something. And when I was about to go, the Lord said to me that, "No, Cheryl, you'd have to leave this for later because you're on my time. And when you're on the Lord's time, things change fast, so you must move now." Anyways, I took a taxi from my scheme, and I went to the front of the scheme. And when I went out, I came off, walked across the road, and another taxi came, and I took the taxi and I went up to Red Ground. When I came off the taxi and I was walking to go up to the church, the Lord spoke to me and He said, "Cheryl, today I do not require you to go inside of church. I am, you're passing by today," He says, "I just want you to leave the message." And then and the CD that I was distributing is the same CDs called Moment of Truth, Part 1 and Part 2, the same CDs that I had delivered to the 14 parishes from in June of this year. I went up. When I was going up again, the Lord spoke. While going up, He spoke, and He said to me, "Cheryl, this CD that you leave today, I'm asking you to leave the CD with the male elders of the church." I said, "Male?" He says, "Do not leave the CD with a female." I said, "Why, Lord?" And the Lord said to me, "Cheryl, because the male elders will share, but the females will not share." He says to me that female holds on to stuff. I said, "Lord, the male will share." He says, "Yes, Cheryl, the male will share more than the female." Well, I was in awe, but He's Lord and He knows everything. And I went up. When I went up, there was a lady and a man standing at the corner at the side of the church, and the Lord says, "Go quickly." I went to him, and when I went, He says, "Good morning, sis." He says, you're worshiping with us again today." And I said, "You remember me?" He said, "Of course." He says, "You have come here a few times." And as he said that, I remembered going to Red Ground, but this was early last year. It was just after I've been baptized. The Lord woke me up one morning, asked me to write a message and to go to Constitution Hill. I delivered the message, and weeks following, so it would have been somewhere about in June 2016, He gave me a message and He said to me that I need to go to Red Ground. And I went to Red Ground. I never forgot the lady, Indian looking lady that He sent me to that day, and she gave me permission to bring the message to the church. And I remember a second time as well going to the church was a day that the Father said to me that He wanted my mother and my aunt to sit together in church. It would have been the first that they would have been sitting together in 62 years, because they grew separate. It was an awesome day. I smiled to myself and I said, "Well, sir, today I bring the church a message." I said, "The Lord has sent me to the 14 parishes with these CD called The Moment of Truth. And I've gone to every single parish except my hometown." And He says 5 churches today. And I said, "Sir, of the 5, I've chose Red Ground is a part of them." And I said, "To this CD, sir, it is for the church." And he said to me, "Thank you, Cheryl." He said to me, "We will have to listen to the CD first, before." I said, "Yes." I said, "Sir, whatever the Lord bids you to do, you do with this CD." And I told him thanks for his time, and I went off the compound and I went down. and a taxi came. The Lord said to me that, Cheryl, do not walk today, he says. Ask this taxi to drop you at the gate of the Old Harbour Seventh-day Adventist Church. And when I went down, he dropped me at the church. And when I went, the Lord sent me to the front of the church. And when I stood there, he said, do not go in. When I was standing there, he said to me, Sharon, move to the side of the church. That would have been to the right hand side. And when I went around there, there was this gentleman coming. Now, I have been going to that church when I was a child. And when I was going to church, his hair, he had full head of black hair. And when I saw him, his head was totally bald. And I smiled to myself and I said, sir, I said, good morning, sir. I said, the Lord has sent me here this morning to deliver this message to the church, to leave this CD with the church. I said, of this CD that I give to you, entitled The Moment of Truth, that I brought to the 14 parishes. I've been everywhere except my hometown. And today the Lord says 5 churches, Cheryl. And you are the second church that I'm bringing the CD to this morning. I said, sir, I must tell you that when I knew you coming here as a child, you had a full head of hair, a full head of black hair. But now I said, sir, your hair is bald, your head is bald. And he laughed to himself and he said, yes, 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 I've gotten older. He said to me, okay, Cheryl, he says, I will pass this on to the pastor. And I said, thank you for your time, sir. The Lord said to me, Cheryl, go across the road quickly. I went across, the bus came and I journeyed down to Bushy Park, Seventh-day Adventist. Now, this was the first time I'm going to Bushy Park. I was born in Old Harbour for 35 years. I was born here. I was born here and never left. And this is the first time I'm setting my foot into Bushy Park, SDA. I remember when I was young and visiting Old Harbour Seventh-day Adventist, all my friends, they would go down and visit, but somehow I never went. And I said to the Lord when I was walking in the compound, I said, Lord, how come these things I've wanted to do them from I was small? But it is when I'm so old, Lord, that I'm doing this. Anyways, I said, God, I thank you for this day. And I went on into the churchyard, and the Lord said to me, go around the church. I realized that the church was separate. I saw the women over there and I saw the men one side. I didn't know why. I went around the church as the Lord said, and I saw a man coming from his van, and he says, go to him and ask him for an elder of the church. I went and I said, sir, could I get one of the elders of the church, the male elders? And he said to me, one second. He says, come with me. And he brought me around the church. See, so I'm still not going in the church. He brought me around and he went to the section where the men were. A fair-looking gentleman came out. He was dressed in black and white. I greeted him. The Lord said, greet him in the name of the Lord. I greeted him. And I said, sir, the Lord has asked, I said, I am leaving a CD, a message with the church today. I said, the Lord has sent me to 5 different churches in Old Harbour. And I said, you're the 3rd church. I said, of this CD that I bring to you, I have brought to the 14 parishes. I've been every single where except my hometown. And the Lord said that I had to come home. I had to do my hometown today. He's taking me home. I said, sir, this is for the church, and may the Lord show you how to use it and to show you what to do as well. And he smiled. He told me his name. I cannot remember though. And he walked away, and I told him thanks for his time, and we parted. When I was walking out and reached to the front, to take another bus from Bushy Park, the Lord said to me, Cheryl, pray before you leave this venue. And I prayed. I looked up to the heavens and I prayed to my Father. I asked him for continued strength and for his whole armor to finish his journey and to do well today. And when I went on the bus, we came off at Signum. And when I was going to the gate of Signum, a gentleman was coming out in his car, and the Lord said, Cheryl, this is the man that I've sent you to. He's leaving. He says, quickly ask this man at the side, where do you find an elder of the church? And when I said, sir, could you tell me how I could find one of the elders of the church? He says, oh my, here he is, he's leaving. And I said, Lord, should I stop him? The Lord said, no, Cheryl, you cannot run after him. He says, if you did that, then you would be giving a flying message. He said to me, go into the church, this man will help you. The same gentleman walked with me, and we tried to find an elder. And he went into the church, but when he came out, it was a female elder. And I said, Lord, but you said no females. And the Lord said to me, do not worry, Cheryl, for this woman is different. I went to her and she said hi, and I said, you're an elder? And she said, yes, I'm a female elder. And she smiled, and I said, okay. I said, my name is Cheryl, ma'am, and I worship at the Bellas Gate Adventist Church. There I was baptized as well. And I said, the Lord has sent me with a message, a CD here today. This CD that I bring to the church, I've brought to the 14 parishes. But I've been every single place except my hometown. And the Lord said, I have to do home today. She smiled. She took out a pen and she took out a book and she says, what is your name? She wrote down my name and she took my number. She says, where do you worship? And I told her where, and she took the CD. And then the Lord said to me, Cheryl, ask her where do you find an Adventist church in Spanish Town, the Spanish Town Adventist Church. And I said to her, I said, Miss, the Lord asked me to find a church, an Adventist church in Spanish Town Adventist. Do you know where I could find that? And she said, why you never choose Heartland? And when she says, and she said, no, Heartland connected to Signum. And then she said, I think there is one somewhere in Della. And every time when she spoke, the Lord kept on saying Cheryl Brunswick. And she said there is one in Spanish Town when you go to such and such a corner. And the Lord said, Cheryl. He spoke very firm. He said, Cheryl. I said, Brunswick. And I said, Miss, I said, every time that you mention a church, the Lord keeps on saying Brunswick. Another lady was passing at the same time, and she said, what is the problem? And the lady the female elder turned to her and she said to her that the Lord has sent her on a journey and she's looking for the Spanish Town Adventist Church in Spanish Town. And the lady said, oh yeah, there is one in upon Brunswick. And when she said it, the Lord confirmed with me, and he changed my whole skin. It's like my whole body changed when he highlighted me. And I showed it to them and I said, oh my God, I said, the Lord has confirmed. The lady directed me. And she said there was two churches in Brunswick, but the Spanish Town Adventist Church was on the right going up. A gentleman was there and he said, Miss, do you want me to leave the CD for you? I could leave it, since you're traveling with your child and so forth. And I said, no, sir. He said, do you want me to drop you? I said, no, sir. Today I have to travel. I have to go bus by bus, taxi by taxi. I have to do this one on my own. I told him thanks and I walked away. When I walked away, the father said, do you see the difference with a female elder than with a male elder? And I said, what? And he said, of all of them, she took my name. She took where I was from. She took a number. She said a woman works the proof. And if she goes now to deliver a message and to say that such and such, she will have all the things in place. They do not leave things out. She says, but the man now, they will know you, he says. They said they will know you. And he says, a man of God as well knows another. Not that a female does not know, but they deal with proof, the physical truth, and then they will go in. Then the Lord said to me, Cheryl, quickly go across the road. And then when I went across, I went into Spanish Town. I took a taxi. The taxi man, when he showed me and said, there it is. And I saw the big old Spanish Town at Seventh-day Adventist. I could not believe. It was such a big and pretty church. I walked over, but it was empty. The church doors were closed and some people were sitting at the side. The Lord said to me, Cheryl, go around. When I went around, he showed me to a man and said, go to him. I went to him and I said, sir, I'm looking for a male elder of the church. Could you tell me where I could find one? He says, oh, miss. He said, they have all left, And the Lord said to me, Cheryl, give this CD to this man and tell him to give it to the elder for you. He will deliver it for you. And when I said to him, I explained, I said, my name is Cheryl and so forth, and that this CD I had brought to the 14 parishes. And the Lord gave me 5 churches today, and Spanish Town Adventist Church is the 5th. He took it and he said to me, you will deliver for me. The Lord said to me, Cheryl, go into the bathroom. And when the Lord said to me, Cheryl, go into the bathroom, I knew exactly what it was. I knew that my journey was finished. When I went to the bathroom and I was coming out, me and my daughter, when we came out, I saw the elder, another gentleman coming with the same man that I'd given the CD. And he says, where is she? Where is she? Where is she? And of him, this elder, sorry, I can remember his name, he says, hi. And he says, you're the lady that brought this? And I said, yes. He says, and I said, my name is Cheryl, sir. And he said to me, my name is Elder Dennis. I never forgot. And he said, and I explained to him and I told him, give him the message again. And he smiled. He says, Cheryl, take my number. And when I took it, he says, if the Lord wants you to call me, you will call me. I smiled to myself. And the Lord said, do you see this? Of everyone that you have been to, none has given your number. They have asked. But he says, this man gives you his number. What does he say to you, Cheryl? I said, Lord, he said to me, if the Lord so bids you to call me, then you will call me. I smiled. I went out. I prayed. I thanked the Lord. And then the Lord sent me as far as to Bendon. That would be when you're going up to Kitson Town. Two ladies there of my acquaintance, two other special ladies as well. One the Lord calls a messenger, and the other one the Lord calls the angel of light. They were having a lunch on that day. They were eating out, and when I went there,